Dog lovers, welcome back to Emojinomics. Let's continue our fantastic journey.
In the previous episode, wolves became dogs, dogs became luxury, and the Industrial Revolution created the modern pet market. But you haven't seen anything yet. Because in the 20th century, this market goes from people like dogs to people have gone completely insane. Million-dollar inheritances, plastic surgeries, canine therapists, and neuroscience finally explaining why we've lost our minds. Buckle up. We're going from post-war to present day on the most expensive and irrational journey in economic history. Let's go. Post-World War II. Economic boom, American suburbs, and then the perfect storm happens for the pet market. Nuclear families, houses with yards, baby boomers wanting pets, and advertising discovers the magic formula. The perfect American family has a dog. Every margarine, car, detergent commercial, there's a happy golden retriever. This is what sociologists call construction of the domestic ideal. Dogs stop being optional, they become a component of the aspirational family. And then the pet food industry has a genius marketing move. In the 1950s and 1960s, some dog food brands launched massive campaigns with one message: human food is bad for your dog. This wasn't entirely true. Dogs ate leftovers for 40,000 years and survived just fine, thank you. But it created dependency on a specific product. It's the same strategy as razor blade brands, infant formula brands. Create the need for a specialized product, convince people that the alternatives are dangerous, and dominate the market. Result? Pet food market in the USA. 1950, $50 million. 1980, $3 billion. 2000, $15 billion. 2020, $42 billion. That's 84,000% growth in 70 years. To compare, the S&P 500 grew only 15,000% in the same period. Dog food was a better investment than stocks. And veterinary medicine? 1950s, veterinarian was like a farm mechanic. Basic treatment, vaccines, castration, done. 2020s, cardiac surgery, chemotherapy, MRI, physical therapy, acupuncture, hydrotherapy. In 2023, Americans spend $35 billion on veterinary care. Some pet health plans cost $200 a month more expensive than basic human plans. And it's not irony or criticism, it's pure emotional economics. Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize in Economics, studied this. We make completely irrational decisions when emotion is involved. You don't do $5,000 surgery on your $3,000 car, but you do $5,000 surgery on your dog that's priceless because it's not an economic asset, it's family. And we arrive at the apex of civilizational madness, the 21st century, where dogs became children. And I'm not exaggerating. This is a documented sociological phenomenon. Millennials and Gen Z are having fewer children, minus 20% compared to previous generations, and more pets, plus 35% ownership, and treating them exactly like children. 67% of pet owners in the USA refer to themselves as pet parents. And this changes everything economically, because an owner buys food, a parent buys everything. Global pet products market in 2024, $350 billion. $350 billion. To compare with things you know, Netflix, $33 billion per year. Starbucks, $36 billion per year. Nintendo, $15 billion per year. Nike, $51 billion per year. Pet market, $350 billion per year. It's almost 7 Netflixes, 10 Nintendos for dogs and cats. And projection for 2030, $500 billion. It will surpass the pharmaceutical industry of some countries. And look at the niches that exist today, right now. 1. Premium dog spa. Swedish massage, aromatherapy with essential oils, acupuncture, chromotherapy, $150 to $300 per session. Your dog comes out more relaxed than you from your vacation. 2. canine personal trainer. $100 to $200 per hour for a personal trainer to teach your golden retriever to do squats on a balance platform. Yes, this exists. No, this is not satire. 3. Pet psychologist and behavioral therapist. Does your dog have separation anxiety, abandonment trauma, seasonal depression? $150 to $250 per consultation with a certified specialist. And look, it works, but it's funny that we created a civilization so stressful that even dogs need therapy now. 4. Canine birthday buffet. Sugar-free cakes, meat cupcakes, themed decoration, professional photographer, canine guest list. $500 to $3,000 per party. And the guests are other dogs who don't understand the concept of birthdays, but the photos for Instagram, priceless. 5. Five-star pet hotel. Individual suites with TV showing videos of squirrels, personalized air conditioning, 24-hour webcam for you to watch, gourmet menu, $80 to $200 per night. More expensive than Ibis budget for humans. And the dog doesn't complain on TripAdvisor if the Wi-Fi is slow. 6. Designer clothes. Gucci launched a dog line in 2021. Winter coat, $1,500. Leather collar, $780. Backpack to carry your chihuahua, $2,400. And Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Ralph Lauren, everyone has a pet line because they discovered rich owners want their dog to match their purse. 7. Canine nutritionist and chef. Personalized diet, meals prepared by chef, weekly delivery of fresh food, $30 to $50 per day. That's $900 to $1,500 per month. Some people spend more on dog food than their own. But before continuing in this spiral of Western consumerism, let's take a break, because there's a place in the world where the relationship with dogs is completely different.
Nepal. Every year at the Tihar Festival, also called Deepawali or Yama Panchak, something unique happens. An entire day dedicated to celebrating dogs. Tihar is a 5-day Hindu festival celebrating the victory of light over darkness, and the second day, Kukur Tihar, Dog Day. And here comes the fundamental difference. It's not about the dog as property or child. It's about the dog as a spiritual messenger. In Hindu mythology, Yama, the god of death, has 2 four-eyed dogs that guard the gates of the afterlife. Dogs are seen as protectors between the world of the living and the dead. So on Kukur Tihar, all dogs, purebred, mutts, street dogs, are honored. It doesn't matter if you are the owner or not. And look how the ritual works. 1. Mala, garland of red and orange flowers around the dog's neck, symbolizing respect and dignity. 2. Tika, red mark on the forehead made of vermilion and rice, representing blessing and protection. 3. Sel roti and special food, homemade sweetbreads, meats, eggs, but offered as prasad, sacred food, not $80 a kilo imported premium kibble. And here's the deep insight. They're not buying the dog's love. They're thanking for its existence. And there's a detail that will blow your mind. Nepal is one of the poorest countries in Asia, GDP per capita of $1,300 per year. But on Kukur Tihar, families that barely have money for themselves stop everything and celebrate street dogs, dogs that aren't theirs, that will never give returns. No spa, no designer clothes, no Instagram. It's just gratitude. And here's the great irony. Who do you think is happier? The Nepalese street dog celebrated 1 day a year by an entire community? Or the American poodle with its own closet but who spends 10 hours alone while the owner works to pay for premium food? Tihar reminds us of something the West forgot in the consumerist race. The relationship with dogs doesn't need to be about possession. It can be about reverence. It's not my furry child onto whom I project my insecurities. It's a being with its own spiritual role, guardian, protector, messenger. And economically, Tihar costs basically nothing. Garden flowers, homemade food, red pigment, about $2 to $5. Tihar celebration, $2 to $5. Western pet birthday party? $500 to $3,000. But which one truly honors the dog? The one that spends more, or the one that recognizes its inherent dignity? Anyway, let's return to our Western madness. And now the cherry on top of the insanity cake that makes Tihar seem like something from another planet, people leaving fortunes to dogs. Leona Helmsley, American billionaire, hotel queen, died in 2007. Her will left $12 million to her dog, a Maltese named Trouble. $12 million. To compare, she left $10 million to her brother. The dog got more than family. Trouble had a private driver, personal chef, 24-hour security because it received death threats. Yes, a millionaire dog received death threats. Spent $100,000 per year just on care, $60,000 on security, $8,000 on grooming, $1,200 per year on food. Wait, $1,200 on food, but $100,000 total? The rest was just maintenance of being rich. Trouble died in 2011 at 12 years old, lived better than 99.99% of humanity. But Trouble is nothing compared to Gunther VI, a German shepherd who inherited $500 million. $500 million. Yes, there's legal debate about whether a dog can legally inherit, but it's a trust fund managed by humans on behalf of the dog. The story is bizarre. German Countess Carlotta Liebenstein died in 1992, left her fortune to dog Gunther III, who left it to son Gunther IV, who left it to Gunther V. Now we're on Gunther VI. It's a canine dynasty. Gunther has mansions in Miami, Bahamas, Italy, bought Madonna's house for $7.5 million. Madonna's house. And here's the philosophical question, which the Nepalese of Tihar already answered centuries ago. Does the dog know it's rich? Does it care about mansion versus street? Answer, no. The dog would be equally happy sleeping on the street with a flower garland. But humans care, because this isn't about the dog, it's about what the dog represents to the lonely human. And there's more. Gigo, a chicken, inherited $15 million from a British publisher. Blackie, a cat, $7 million. Guinness for richest cat. Toby Rhymes, a poodle, $80 million from a publishing house. It's like billionaires reach the end of their life and think, you know who deserves my fortune? Not charity to feed street dogs in Nepal, my poodle. But why in the hell do we do this? Why do we spend fortunes on creatures that smell poop? Neuroscience has answers, and they're fascinating. When you look into your dog's eyes, your brain releases oxytocin, the love hormone, the same when a mother looks at her baby. 2015 Japanese study from Azabu University proved that 30-minute interaction with a dog increases oxytocin by up to 300%. And here's the insane plot twist. It also increases in the dog. It's a positive feedback loop. You become chemically addicted to each other. It's an evolutionary biological hack. Dogs literally hijacked our parental attachment system. They evolved to activate our instinct to care for babies. Big eyes? Check. Round forehead? Check. Dependent behavior? Check. It's Kinshin schema, baby schema, and it works perfectly. And there's dopamine. Petting a pet activates the brain's reward circuit, the nucleus accumbens, the same area that activates with chocolate, love, and other pleasures. It's literally addictive. You become dependent on that dose of dopamine. That's why when you come home and the dog goes crazy with happiness, your brain needs that. And worse, studies show that pet owners develop tolerance, need more interaction for the same dose. It's chemical dependency progression. And then comes Dan Ariely, behavioral economist from MIT. He discovered we are profoundly irrational with things we love emotionally. Classic experiment. They asked pet owners, how much would you pay to save a stranger's life? And then asked, and your dog's? Average responses, a human stranger, $500 to $1,500. Own dog, $10,000 plus. Cognitively, this is insane. Human life is worth more than canine by any objective metric, but emotionally makes total sense because the dog is yours. You know it, love it. The stranger is strange.
This is effective proximity bias. We overvalue what's emotionally close. That's why you cry more when your dog dies than when you see news of a tragedy with 1,000 deaths. And there's the social context. Loneliness epidemic. USA, UK, Japan, Brazil, 30 to 40% of people report chronic loneliness. Fewer marriages, fewer children, more urban isolation, remote work, and dogs fill an existential void. Longitudinal studies show having a dog reduces depression -20%, anxiety -18%, blood pressure -10%, risk of cardiac death -24%. This has economic value. If therapy session costs $200 per week is equal to $800 per month, and dog cures with similar efficacy, $150 per month in pet expenses is an absurd bargain. Dog is a walking pharmacy of oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. It's a four-legged antidepressant. And now, where does this market go? Have we reached peak insanity, or is there more? Spoiler, there's much more. Number 1, commercial cloning. Chinese company Sinogen and American Viagen charge $50,000 to clone your dog. They've already cloned hundreds. Barbara Streisand cloned her dog Samantha twice, spent $100,000. Now has Miss Scarlet and Miss Violet. Projected market of $2 billion by 2030, because apparently it's not enough to celebrate the dog while alive, like in Tihar, we need to genetically duplicate it. Number 2, wearables and tech. Smart collars that monitor heart rate, temperature, calories burned, sleep pattern, real-time GPS. It's Fitbit plus Apple Watch for dogs. Pet tech market $2 billion in 2023. Projection of $20 billion in 2030. Number 3, pet apps and social networks. Tinder for dogs, TinDog, BarkHappy. Social network just for pets, Petbook. Streaming content for dogs to watch alone, Dog TV. Dog TV charges $10 a month for streaming videos of squirrels, cats, and dogs playing. Your dog doesn't understand the concept of TV, but 145,000 subscribers disagree. Number 4, laboratory food. Because animals and Bond Pet Foods develop lab-grown meat for pets, startup raised $23 million. Argument? More sustainable than raising cattle. Counter-argument? Your dog would eat garbage if you let it. But hey, at least the meat has organic lab certification. Number 5, Airbnb and sharing economy. Rover and Wag, Uber for dog walkers. Petbacker, Airbnb for hosting. Projected market of $10 billion by 2030. You literally call a stranger on the app to walk your dog and pay $25 to $50 per hour. It's gig economy, but furry. And this is the great irony that closes the circle, now in 3 acts. 40,000 years ago, human and wolf partnered to survive physically, hunt, protect themselves, not freeze to death. In Nepal, for thousands of years, human and dog maintained spiritual partnership, gratitude, reverence, mutual recognition. Cost? Almost zero, meaning profound. And today, in the West, human and dog partner to survive emotionally, but at the cost of transforming relationship into commercial transaction. The type of threat changed. It's no longer saber-toothed tiger or spiritual void. It's capitalist loneliness, consumerist depression, postmodern anxiety. And the solution? More consumption. Physical survival 40,000 BC to spiritual reverence Tihar to emotional consumption 21st century. The essence is the same, mutualism, but the means changed radically. They gain unprecedented material comfort, spa, gourmet food, health plan. We gain emotional comfort that money can't buy, except technically you bought the dog, so money kinda does buy it, but you get the point. And the question remains, which model is more honest?
The Nepalese, who offers flowers and simple food once a year, recognizing the dog as a spiritual guardian, or the American, who spends $2,000 a month transforming dog into substitute child to fill existential void that not even the dog has to fill. Anyway, both things can be true at the same time, and probably are. So, returning to the question that opened this two-video journey, why do we spend billions on dogs? Because 40,000 years of coevolution aren't erased by economic logic. Humans and dogs fundamentally changed each other. We changed their DNA from fierce wolves to pugs that can barely breathe, and they changed our brain, hacked our attachment system, dopamine, oxytocin, from hunting tools to spiritual guardians to family members, from food scraps to sacred offerings to chef meals, from sleeping outside to receiving flower garlands to having their own bank account. And the market? It only reflects what has always been true in different ways. We love these creatures. Survival love, caves; reverence love, tihar; projection love, modernity. Each in a profoundly emotional, culturally specific, and evolutionarily brilliant, or questionable, depending on your perspective. Maybe the Nepalese discovered the right balance. Honor without owning, celebrate without consuming, love without projecting. Or maybe there's no right way. Maybe it's just love, in the crooked, strange, and economically absurd way that humans know how to do. Because in the end, the question is not why do we spend so much, the question is how much is not feeling alone worth? And the answer? For some, it's flowers and gratitude. For others, it's $350 billion per year. And you know what? Maybe both are right. Hard to say.
You probably don't want to calculate your pet spending. You didn't choose to love dogs. Your 40,000-year-old ancestors chose for you. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications.